Alright, welcome to this episode of Small Bike Stuff. I decided it's time to show you what's underneath the Honda Wave 125i plastics. With the plastics on, they're a pretty nice looking bike. Sure, they're not as nice as the old Honda Super Cubs, and yeah, the Honda Dreams have a nice kind of 80s, bit more squarish design. I absolutely agree. However, the Honda Wave 125i does grow on you. It's known as the Honda Wave Plawan in Thailand, which means whale, because it's quite a wide bike when you look at the underseat storage area and the tank. Basically, they've widened the bike to make it have the 18 litres of underseat storage that it does have. It's a 125cc overhead cam engine. It's pretty interesting. It's got fuel injection, the PGM FI Honda system, and I basically just want to show you what is underneath and where they've hidden everything. So let's go have a closer look with the GoPro. Alright, well, let's start from the start, I guess. Up here we have the headlight. So this is the headlight surround, and I've left this on because underneath there all we've really got is the speedo cluster, and there's a few wires and stuff in there. I've put my heated grips, the wiring goes through into there as well, but I'm leaving it on for this purpose. But underneath the front cover you have your airbox. So your airbox is here, and this little frame or support in front of it is actually to hold the front basket. So the front basket screws into there, and then underneath here there is another screw that it would go into. Now these are all different mounts for the plastics, and these are the plugs for the park lights and the turn signals. And on this side we just have the same thing, a plug for the turn signal and the driving light as well. So the front end's pretty basic there. Go back a little bit and we've got this thing hiding in here, but this is just something I've added. This is my Oxford heated grips, and these usually go down here. They're pretty smart, and they've got an intelligent heat controller, and they can figure out if the bike's running or not. And if the bike's not running, it goes into what we call battery saving mode, and then in battery saving mode, after about I think 90 seconds or so, they turn off. So this is for my Oxford heated grips, which I use because I had been commuting in the winter on this daily, and it does get a little bit chilly here in New Zealand in winter. They're not an actual feature on the original bike. I've connected these by literally just connecting them to the positive and the negative terminal on the battery, and that's it. And then there's a whole bunch of excess cabling that I've kind of made look terrible. This has all been here while the covers are on, it's just hidden. And yeah, that's these little Oxford heated grips. We've got the ignition, so the ignition is here, as you can see, and it basically is mounted with a rubber boot on the back. There's your ignition wires, and you can see another little W logo there. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but that's the ignition. Coming out of here we have a cable operated seat opener. So basically this steel tube runs all the way down here. It's this point, it turns into rubber all the way around up into here, and if I push this you can hear the mechanism inside there operating, but obviously it only actually engages, or only actually opens the seat if the seat's in there. Alright, go back to the front and see what else we've got. Front wiring loom. So this here goes down into basically where everything connects. So this is the back half of the bike connecting to the front half of the bike. Our headlight is in here, and we've got our turn signals, which are usually here with our park lights as well, and that's about all the power that comes to the front of the bike. We've got our battery mounted under the front of the frame. So for me, I actually didn't know this when I first wanted to work on the bike, and this is all just excess that doesn't need to be there. But unscrew this, a cover opens, and then you've got your battery in there. We've got our coil with power coming straight from the main loom and going straight down to our spark plug. As you can see, I haven't changed my spark plug in a bit too long, and I haven't really used the bike in that time either, so it's okay. Just the outside is rusty, the inside will be fine, but it will be old and need to be replaced. We have our fuel injection system here, which I'll show you a bit more of when we go to the other side, I think. And then we've got our power coming down to the starter motor here. The starter motor actually isn't working at the moment. So if we turn this on, we've got our starter solenoid, which is over the other side hanging down, which I'll show you when we turn the bike around. But yeah, unfortunately this isn't working, so we'll diagnose that when the engine comes out. Also on the left side we've got the engine itself. So you can see there's basically an O2 sensor at the bottom of the engine here. They don't have one in the exhaust, they just have one in the bottom of the head. So that's a bit of an interesting setup if you haven't seen it before. This is the motor itself. I've got the oil cap open because I've just drained the oil. You've got your clutch adjustment here, and this little plastic cover can come off with 3 bolts as well. Brake light switch for the rear, as you can see, that goes up and down, and that engages your brake light, which is up the back. We've got our rear pillion foot peg. Well, of course it's a rear pillion foot peg because you don't have pillions on the front. Well, in New Zealand you don't, but in Southeast Asia that's entirely possible. And this also doubles as the rear exhaust mount. The exhaust itself is mounted under here, so you've got 2 bolts there, and as you can see it's looking a bit worse for wear, but that's okay. And centre stand's a bit worse for wear. I need to really take it off and sand it back and repaint it, but that's the centre stand there. And then you've got your brake arm as well. Brake arm, as you can see, is mounted here. And that's also connected to the brake light switch on the rear there as well. Apart from that, this is the exhaust. So we've got the exhaust on this side here, which is a new lamb looker pipe. I've done a couple of videos about that. Go into my videos and search new lamb looker, and they'll also be in the description, so check the description out and you'll see them. My YSS shock, which I have replaced, that's aftermarket, and it actually looks a bit misty, which is a bit of a concern. So I wonder if it's blown out or not. As you can see, this one has a lot of residue down at the bottom here, whereas my other one doesn't. So I'm going to have to look into that a bit more because handling's somewhat important and I don't like being thrown off my bike. We've got our ECU here. You can see a lot of dust. I've taken this thing off-road a lot, and unless you take the plastics off, you really kind of can't get under here and clean properly. So that's what you're seeing here. Fuel tank at the back here. The fuel injection is sitting in the top there, which I'll show you a bit more when we turn the bike around. But on this side, we've got the ECU. There's the top of your shock mount as well, which is a bit of a mission to get to, but is possible. And this is the ECU there, and they basically just plug in and chill out in that location there. Here, wrapped up in tape, which you can't see, this is a little diagnostic plug. So that there, with the red cap, that's a little diagnostic plug you can plug in to kind of make alterations, I believe, on this thing here. Now that I'm at the front on this side, one thing that I have forgotten is that the brake reservoir is on the right side here, and you do have a little window so you can actually see the level of the master cylinder. But it's annoying that it's under the plastics. It means that if you want to do any work on the brakes, which you can see quite well from this side, unfortunately you've got to take the plastics off the top, but that's okay. Not the end of the world. Here we've got our speedo cable, which is coming out of the headlight cluster, and if you go and follow it all the way down, it goes into the wheel here. So it's a front wheel driven speedo. We've got our main wiring cluster here, and then we've also got our brake line, which kind of loops around and then follows down here into the front brake, but we've already done that side. The airbox. The airbox itself has a little resonator here, but there's no actual limitation like the Grom ones. So there's nothing to kind of cut out and make better, or get you in better airflow. It's kind of just one all the way through with a little resonator. This here is the starter solenoid, which unfortunately, well, this works, but the starter motor over here doesn't work. Coming down to our intake manifold. So we've got our throttle here, which is our throttle body, and you can see the Ken logo on there. And I've got a bigger throttle body coming, and then we've got our intake manifold here with the injector going straight into the top, as you can see. So the injector is following the fuel line. The fuel line attaches to the edge of the seat bucket, which is usually in here. Obviously the seat bucket's out at the moment, and this is the main fuel line there. The wiring that we could see on the other side, so there's a main earth here, and then this here, this plug and that plug at the back there, they connect into a couple of places. So probably the gear indicator, and then this is the main engine wiring. So you can see white, yellow and green in there, and probably a couple other colors, and that's your main engine wiring that's coming off the stator, which is on this side here. As you can see, dust. I need to clean it, but that's okay, we'll sort that out. Sprockets under here, but as far as under the plastics go, not too much on this side. So you've got your left pillion peg here as well, and as we can see, we also have another YSS shock on this side, but this one here doesn't have the misting or doesn't have the kind of oil build-up down the bottom there, so looks like I've possibly bung just the right-hand shock. At the moment, you can see my chain's a bit worse for wear, rusty. I kind of need a rear sprocket. I need new sprocket dampeners in there, the rubber dampeners, which I've got. I just need to throw them all in. But yeah, that's really it. They look a bit weird. Like, I mean, look at this big boxy tube up here. And it's well made and it's strong, but it just looks weird. And if you do want to remove the plastics, then you've got all this ugly wiring hanging about. So it's pretty hard to make it look good. But yeah, that's about it really. That's the underneath of a Honda Wave 125i. What's under the plastics? That's what's under the plastics. Now they are different from, I think, 2018 onwards. The model changed, and then 2020 they brought out a new model. So every kind of 3 years they seem to do a bit of a revamp. This one was 2014 to 2017, I believe, the Honda Wave Plow one. After this, they got LED lighting, and they're getting a few more extra cool things along the way. So yeah, Honda Wave 125i, under the plastics. That's it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. About 80 to 85% of the people that watch this channel are not subscribed. So if you do like the videos, please subscribe. Then you'll see a notification when one comes up again, and you can watch all of my videos. Otherwise, check out Moving Our World. Moving Our World, we've got tractors, Aston Martin, a Porsche, a couple K cars, just a whole bunch of weird vehicles. So you can go check them out and see what you think. Subscribe on that channel if you can. And yeah, otherwise, we'll see you when we're doing the engine rebuild. Thanks for watching.